something bad to us, we are going to do things to you that have never been done before.
What the f*** is that, dude?
Well, good evening, folks. How are you? It's been a beautiful day in southeast Queensland, even if it has been just a little bit chilly if you've been out of the direct sunlight. But in the direct sunlight, absolutely stunning sort of a day. Was able to get out and do one or two things that I had to catch up on today. And, spend a little time out there amongst it, which was quite nice. I'm sorry about last night. I had to help Cass out last night, yesterday afternoon. She needed to attend an appointment, and there was problems with cars and whatnot. So I drove, and we just got stuck in traffic getting back, which made it a little bit late to get things organised. So I do apologise for last night's interruption of program. Of course, you would have only heard me swear and say not very pleasant things about the French organising committee for the Olympics, but in general, the IOC. You can't just blame. I'm sure there must be some people, I've got to hope there would be some people in France who are absolutely mortified that their games are now known as the most disgusting, the most perverted, the dirtiest games in history. And, we'll talk further about that boxing match when I get a bloke in who isn't, been a few years since he's been slapped around the ring or twice. Vincent, how are you?
Yeah, very good. I've got to start with the appropriate.
Very good. Get that wave sorted. Can I say how dapper you look in your pretty outstanding sort of hoodie there this evening?
Yes, it's lovely and warm too, I can tell you. Beautiful. Hang on a minute. Look at this.
Oh, look at that. Takes the shine off the top of your head really well.
You had to put that in there, didn't you? Maybe I should leave it on. It's nice and warm. It's beautiful and thick. Anyway.
Well, yeah, there'll be no ear infections out of that lot, mate. I get ear infections with cold air blowing in my ear holes. So, a good hoodie has to be warm in the ear hole.
Yep, it certainly does that, mate. Certainly does that indeed. So, and all those people should be seeing them arrive in their mailboxes in the next couple of days. Well, it won't be this week, weekend, but yeah. So
we've outsmarted the fools from Australia Post, because whenever I send anything, it never arrives. So we've changed our modus operandi.
Yep, paid a little bit extra, but we've got them signed for. So, you have to sign to get them now. That proves delivery. That makes them be responsible for it. So it will be a good thing.
Good stuff. Well, I'm pleased that that's happening. And of course, we're still taking orders. People can go to the VOFHQ website and click on the hoodie.
Yeah, I'll probably also put up the caps there as well. I'm going to try and reopen the merch store and get that going. So,
somebody suggested coffee. Somebody suggested, those travel coffee mugs.
Yep, we can get those.
One of those. Yeah. So
we might get those as a list of things that we can get a hold of. Are you on the Starlink tonight, or are you on the Telstra network, mate? Because you're dropping in and out like a yo-yo. Oh, he's dropped right out completely. So that means I get to run the show now. Oh no, he's back. Bummer.
That's all right. I wouldn't mind you running the show completely. In fact, I'd be interested to see how you go. So go.
I could only say it would have to be terrible. Thank you very much, Carl. Like he's dropped me in there. Hopefully he's changing services, all bits and pieces. But anyway, So there's a lot that's been happening throughout the world today. Question is, what are we doing about it? Or what are we watching? Or what are we being gaslighted or fed? That is a very, very interesting question. Now, the French and the games, do they have anything to say? The wonderful lady from Italy who was a boxer in there who went into the ring and, yeah, love that picture, Carl. Thanks. This lovely lady here. So she went into the ring, stood up for herself and fought against a biological male. Let's face it, it's biological male. I don't give a crap what he calls himself. He is a male. After 46 seconds and a couple of king hits that she received, she decided to retire. I think that was a smart move by her because literally she was outclassed purely by body weight and muscular manpower. So effectively, was this the right move for her? Yes. What was the wrong move from her? She didn't bother to say up, I was fighting a man. She had to say that in public, and she never did. We could ask the question, why didn't she say that in public?
Well,
Is it because she gets pressure from who's sponsoring her? Who knows?
Well, I'm sure that there will be pressure brought to bear from the government that is behind the money that is helping her in her sport. And although you would hope that her government would step up, and as she's the female who seems to have lost to a biological male, you would hope that her government would step up, would complain. The world is terribly unhappy, but I don't know that the IOC are ever going to step down. This is the most perverted games in history, and the IOC are in full support of it. So while it's lovely to think that they will do the right thing and take that medal away, and
they should.
In fact, yeah, and they should probably run the gold medal, gold, silver, bronze fights again without any males involved, biological males. I don't care. Well, I do care actually how this person and the other one got into these games when in the World Championships they had been banned for high testosterone levels, and these are uncut transitioning or supposedly transitioning men. So they've still got all the tackle. Is this another case of having to share locker rooms with them too?
Who knows? But she was basically cheated out of a medal, right? And when it comes down to that, right, she was cheated out of a medal. The second thing, I believe this guy is from a Muslim country. Yeah, true. Right. So how does he manage to come across as a woman from a Muslim country? What the? Yeah. The last time I saw Muslims who were expressing these sorts of traits, they were being thrown off the top of buildings. So the Muslim faith is not known for its tolerance of this sort of mental illness, unfortunately. No. I have heard that there is plans for this boxer now to step up into the professional ranks, and there has been an offer of a professional fight for this fighter already. So I look forward to seeing that matchup. Yeah, let's see he whatever it is. See how Michaela Tyson is transitioning, and it's going to be an interesting matchup at Madison Square Gardens in New York City, because that's where all the best lefties hang out. They don't go to Vegas; they get strung up there. So, yeah, not very fun. Not very much fun. You gotta love the memes and stuff that people come up with, don't you? It's just excellent. Very clever stuff. And I want to mention Zach Kelly. Zach Kelly has a new song out on YouTube, folks. Do I have it here? Don't know. Well, while you're looking for that, I mean, another person who's rallying against all this wokeism and etc. is Tom McDonald. Of all the people you would expect, right? He is the most tattooed, satanic-looking creature out there, and yet he is full on against all of this stuff that's going on. And mind you,
Yeah.
I have to say, his music and his lyrics are very enlightening. Very enlightening. So,
Yeah.
so if you're looking
Tom's
for some
got
music that's not on our radio station, which is still not fully functional yet, we've got to get to that, Carl.
yes, we do.
It's it's worth listening to what he has to say in his lyrics, and even his little TikToks that he's now putting out. He's calling them out straight out. Basically,
I
he
can't-
doesn't care. Sorry. Carry on,
No,
Carl.
he also has a great back catalogue of music, and he does one song called Clones, which really explains the music industry completely. Very worthwhile having a look and a listen to. Zach Kelly, Aussie bloke, sent me an email this morning. I was one of the first, and I think probably the first to like his brand new track. It's called Exit the Who. Now, got the link. I'm going to post it in the chat now. It's over on YouTube. Please give him some love after the show. Go and check it out. It's a pretty cool sort of a song. I can't play it in the show because it's a YouTube thing, and then it'll ban me under copyright and yeah, pain in the ass. So I have posted that in the chat. Please pop over and have a bit of a look at it. It's a great track. Congratulations, Zach, and keep writing them, mate. I had a look. There's some pretty nice stuff you've got there. So pretty good songs coming their way out. I've been trying to find my reading glasses. Do you think bucket if I know where
he's got to put his glasses on to find his reading glasses, guys? Oh,
well,
mate, they're on your head already.
You keep me
not
seeing
your reading glasses, but
yeah.
glasses
No, you'll keep seeing me do that because that's where the magnifying part is for those.
Yeah. No worries at all on that one. So then you've got also, there's been pictures floating around of all of the swimmers who were literally throwing up after doing the triathlon in France. I mean, I do feel sorry for the French. This is going to label them so bad with what's happened here, right? Yeah, the horrendous start to the Olympics, the wokeism that's gone into the Olympics. It's just like, and maybe I shouldn't use the word wokeism because even now that's needs clarifying, which actually brings us into a whole nother topic a little bit later. We're discussing about words that are currently used today. So what else have you got to show us, Carl?
I'm just having a bit of a troll through the chat just at the moment. Good evening to Sunflower, who was first in tonight. Hope Rick is going well. And wonder whether or not you've had your H2 unit wired up yet. Must give you a call to find out. And Margie Sedgman, I want to say hello, Margie. I'm sorry to hear that you're really off your game at the moment, off your feet. She'd love to come for a bit of a trip up north where things are a little bit warmer, and she's got a nice caravan and whatnot to do that with. So I said we'd love to have her on the road, but unfortunately she's just a bit crook with I think it's her back at the moment, and is struggling. So just want to send our love and prayers to Margie and wish you a speedy recovery. Please God, all things being equal, you be able to be involved in a little road trip we're having down south toward the end of November. And that might include catching up with one certain bearded waver who might make a journey from his part of the world to another part of the world where we might journey to. So if you've got, call it the last weekend of November free, folks, and you mightn't mind a little bit of a drive down to the river areas of Victoria, we'll talk about this in a little while, I'm sure. We would love to have you come for the drive.
Yeah, that is going to be a fairly exciting time. I just saw something from Murray River there that said there's XX, XO, XXY, XY, and some that have a Y chromosome that does not allow testosterone production. I know of XX, I know of XXY, and I know of XY, but what's XO? It's like, what? What's XO?
Yeah.
Perhaps you could enlighten us in another chat, Murray River. That would be great. Because, interesting in that respect. Whatever. I'm pretty sure that this so-called female fighter was definitely not an XXY. So, anyway.
No. Listen, we haven't really spoken, or I haven't really spoken this week about the murder of those 3 children in the UK. Now, I froze when I first heard the word Southport, because that's obviously a significant suburb on the Gold Coast. And then it was clarified that it was Southport in the UK thing. Well, not thankfully for any reason, but horrible wherever it happens. However, the media have now released the name of the 17-year-old responsible for this heinous crime. That's pretty unusual given that he's still a minor under UK law. But he is an immigrant, and still no rhyme nor reason as to why this has happened. Although I've just received an interesting text from my mate Mick, who is telling me that there is satanic ramifications for this investigation at the moment, it appears. So this may have been some sort of ritual killing or ritual sacrifice. So I don't know. We'll keep an eye open for that one in the future.
Okay. Wild Aussie Woman says, I think he's just turned 18. What happens then? Well, if he's turned 18, he's classed as an adult over in England, so therefore he'll be charged. I think he'll be charged as an adult anyway. But the riots and the people who have come out and attacked the police, I think that's a little unfair that they're going at the police. Admittedly, the police should be doing something about this person, but it's not the police's fault that this person's on the street or in there illegally or however. It all comes back to the government and its policies. So
yes,
don't attack the police, right? Go and get to the government, who are the people that are responsible, and kick them out, right?
And be prepared to stand up, folks. Stand up for yourself. Now, I got this sent through to me today. I'm not sure that you'll be able to read that up close and personal, but it comes from a healthcare nursing home provider that has said, "We'd like to let you know that our COVID vaccination clinic was cancelled today due to very low numbers of consent received. We'll reschedule for another clinic and we'll let you know in the future date and time. I sincerely apologise for the cancellation. The acting clinical manager for the joint." Now,
it's got today's date on it as well.
It does. So that's a great sign, in that if there are people in retirement villages, in assisted care, assisted living situations, they are asserting their right and refusing to give consent to be jabbed. Again, now, Bill Gates, I've just sent myself something which I'll try and post up here if it comes through on the email. Email. There you go. The email, for some reason, shut itself down there. How nice was that? But Bill Gates and the WHO are calling for the military to round up mRNA vaccine refusers during the bird flu pandemic and force jab them. This sounds, like something they would certainly plan. They claim the vaccine.
I'm going to take one of those jabs, mate, and fly away, because obviously I'm a bird.
Well,
that's the only reason I can think of taking the jab, because obviously I must have wings. So, yeah.
Well, there is a certain school of thought that suggests after you've had enough of these jabs, then you're going to, every chance you're going to grow something you shouldn't in a place you probably wouldn't. And if that turns out to be wings,
it's probably the one that take you all the way to heaven, actually. But yeah,
exactly. So Gates and the WHO have ordered governments to lay the groundwork to mobilise the military because they claim that jab skepticism is morally reprehensible and jab refusal is an act of aggression. Shit, you haven't seen an act of aggression yet.
All I
If
have
you
to
think
say
that just
to-
refusing it is an act of aggression, my God,
Yeah.
look out.
Yeah, I won't say what's sitting behind my door. But all I have to say is if there's any people out there in our armed forces, if they try to bring that into this country, you are morally obligated to ignore an unlawful command. Just saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So please be aware of that. It might save you from getting hit over the head with a baseball bat too.
Well,
not that I would do that, mate. Not that I would do that. Never. No.
No. But there are those people who will not have access to a baseball bat, may not have access to a weapon of any kind, but they have knowledge, skills, and abilities to build things, and that's where it becomes even more concerning for mine with booby traps and that kind of thing. Because if you take away people's right to protect themselves, they will always find a way, and eventually, those ways are going to become increasingly harder to hide and make less lethal. Especially when those knocking on the door will be knocking with not less than lethal rounds loaded in their weapons, and they won't be afraid to use them.
Yeah.
So
mother of invention is necessity, isn't it?
I think that's exactly how it works. Yeah. So some pretty horrible things coming our way, I think, folks.
Why would they even bring that out, Carl? Why would they bring that out? I mean, what is the whole purpose of that? Is that to get us adjusted to not putting up resistance? Is that what that's about?
Yes. So I believe it will be. See, we are the people that will not be rounded up and put into a 15-minute city. We are not the people that you want to put into a 15-minute city, because we will be a festering sore in those cities. We will start division. We will start opposition to the, brainwashing that goes on inside of all of that. We want to go out and go swimming. We want to be able to travel freely across the country, walk in a forest, sail a boat, fly a plane, do whatever the hell you want to do. We do not want to be corralled. And we find the 15-minute cities appalling. So they know that there will be a percentage of the population that will never accept the 15-minute cities. So that portion of the population that won't accept that, we are the acceptable losses. If you're willing to accept complete control from government and be completely reliant upon the state to feed you, to clothe you, to keep you entertained, and potentially employed, but that's not a guarantee. They're going to be quite happy to just keep you on the drip-fed welfare tit and keep you happy that way. And then when you are not complying, it makes it much easier to make you comply when they can just pinch that nipple a little bit harder and block off the feed you're getting. And life will become very difficult in a city that requires you to have a digital ID, digital everything this. It won't quite be show me your papers on the streets, because you will be biometrically ID'd. So every time you walk into a store or a building, your face will be scanned. There'll be digital recognition. So, yes, those of us that are not compliant, and we have shown we resist the programming, we are able to logically ask questions of ourselves. It doesn't say we're dismissing any science here. What we are saying, what I'm saying is the kind of people, if they're anything like me, see a mismatch between what they tell us is the science and what we know to be the science.
Yeah.
Or the fact that they're just ignoring the science altogether and trying to gaslight us. Now, I've never been a person who's enjoyed the idea of being gaslit, particularly by our government. So
it's not just our government nowadays, though.
Wow.
It's not just our government nowadays. There's a lot of other gaslighting going on, even from our side of the fence, the freedom side. Just to answer your question, Peter, what's Vince's view on the Murray Bridge expansion, City News? I haven't looked enough into it yet. I've only just seen it. I mean, I've been watching the buildings go up over at the racecourse, but I will look into it further and I'll come back on another show and discuss what I think about it. But I think it's, once again, 15-minute city type stuff happening. But
so those of us that refuse to accept that, and this is where communities like the ones that Cass and her business partners are building, and there are many others around the nation. This is why these communities are so important, because we are becoming self-sustaining communities. There's already 2 orchards. A third is about to be planted. There will be 5 orchards here, just on the ground that I'm around, before the end of next month. Now, there is enough food there for us to start sharing that around through the people both on the property and using to trade for other goods and services, off the property. There is sheep, there are goats, there are kangaroos, but we're not, doing anything other than trying to pat them, I can assure you. Oh, look,
that's
Vince,
that's my trading currency right there. My Byron Bobs.
Very good.
Thank you, Ansley Bullion. Ansley, yep. Bullion.
Yeah.
I'm just falling over my tongue there.
Yeah, no, done well. So no, that's what they're trying to do, Vince. They're trying very hard to keep us, and this will ID us with this instruction, if you like, from Bill Gates and co. Those of us that are not jabbed in any way, shape, or form, we are on a list somewhere. You can be absolutely sure of it. The government knows globally who is and who isn't, who's been through and who hasn't been through. And we will be targeted at some point, 100%.
Yep. In one way or another, whether they're going to cut benefits to people who they got them out of jobs because they figured out who was not going to get jabbed, so they got sacked, me being one, right? And then they've got you on unemployment benefits or whatever that you might be on. In my case, I am on unemployment benefits. And in Carl's case, he's not. He's on nothing. So just to let you people know that, he survives by the skin of his teeth. But which is why we were always after donations to help us build the Freedom Broadcasting Network so that we can employ a few people and give them work. Okay? So step up, people. I'll just tell it as it is. Anyway, then once they've got us in that point, right, they can then, as you said, squeeze that nipple, shut it off, make it harder so that we can't survive. Because let's face it, they want compliance. They don't want us. So they're going to have to take us out one way or another.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I get asked why I don't go and get the doll.
I know why you don't. You don't have to explain that.
So I just find I'd be pretty hypocritical amongst other things, but
you're on the bad boys list, mate. You're not going to get it. It's just pretty much as simple as that.
Yeah, there's a few reasons I'll never get it, and rather than bothering to jump through the hoops and give them access to my life, I would prefer to starve, frankly. So,
well, fortunately, you won't have to because you've got orchards and you've got veggies getting growing and all that sort of stuff. Nothing like
That'll be great for everybody who's here, but the plan is hitting the road.
You're going to be on the road.
And and that's something that I want to have happen before the end of this month. So I need to get a thing called a COI, a certificate of inspection, done on the bus. And the fella coming out to do that can give me help with one other mechanical thing that I just want to make sure is right. Tony in Oberon will be pretty impressed. I've been down today to buy some more nuts for our extractors or engine exhaust.
Exhaust manifold.
These ones, though, exhaust manifold. These ones, though, are copper, and they're not coming off. So
and you get some
won't be popping
Loctite
any
as
more
well?
of those. No Loctite. I was assured that by using these very expensive, and when I say very expensive, I mean for a nut, they were $2 each. So, yeah, but they apparently, with the heat, they will work themselves on and not come off. And I've got a couple of flat washers to go underneath them too. So, yes, that's what I'm assured by the professional people that I went to today. People who run race car engines use to keep all their shit together. So,
okay. Hopefully, you'll
fingers
be able to
crossed.
get them off when they need to come off. That's the next question.
Geez, now you're really upsetting me. You add so much to the problem, because now I'm going to be too scared to fill them up tight and they'll just fall off again.
No. You need to give them a decent grunt, right? So, yeah. But yeah, well, it's me. I like looking at all of the avenues. I try to take in all the facts, both sides, before I make a decision on anything. It's a bit of risk analysis as such. Oh, what do we got here?
I just wanted to show you. I didn't want to show you, actually. I just tried to get my mouse to come back to life. Air New Zealand are the first airline in the world to scrap their 2030 climate goals. They have backed away from the rather stringent targets and stupid targets that were set, of course, only to be exceeded by Australia's stupid targets. But at least now, Air New Zealand has the good sense to say, we're not going broke for this insanity. And they've backed away, saying that aircraft performance, the reliability on fossil fuels and the cost of those fuels, amongst other things, are still the most viable way for them to achieve best results for moving people around the world, and doing so at an economical and profitable rate for the company. So they cannot make a profit if they are trying to make these very unsustainable sustainability gains that are being forced onto them by the blue-haired, nose-pierced, pink-haired twats in the left-green climate scarers of New Zealand. So, good luck.
I like Paul's comment.
Power. Hey?
I love Paul's comment. Electric planes don't work well.
No, electric planes. Well, having flown a few electric planes, can I tell you, folks, with RC planes, they go really, really, really well for about 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, okay, only a little plane. Not going to take too many people on that. They don't make electric planes because batteries are heavy, really heavy, and they wouldn't be able to carry anybody.
Well,
they wouldn't be able to carry weapons.
I don't know. I was just thinking that, those planes are so lightly made with all the aluminium and the various steel frames and bits and pieces in them, and they carry lots and lots of people. And, of course, they can completely and 100% go right through a big steel thick building because they're so well made. But, they carry a lot of fuel, which is still a lot of weight. So I think it's all relative to lift ratio. But I'm not an aeronautical engineer, so don't take my word for it.
I'm going to be a little bit controversial.
Oh, no.
I haven't got it here, but I will endeavour to find it over the weekend and bring it to you next week. There is a breakdown of the fueling required for an Emirates A380 to fly from, let's say it's Brisbane to Dubai or to London or somewhere, it probably makes a big difference where. Let's call it Los Angeles initially. Now, this diagram works out exactly the area that they say the fuel is stored in the wings. And then there is a center tank where fuel is also stored. And so they have different fuel or different areas of fuel storage across these aircraft. And how many liters of fuel or pounds of fuel have to be put on. And there simply isn't enough area inside the tanks to take on this supposed
I've seen that.
large amount of fuel. Yeah.
I've seen that as well.
You see a fuel truck at the side of your aircraft. It carries 50,000 liters. Okay, and if it's a big, longer one, it'll carry 75 or 100,000 liters. But they don't generally bring B-double semi-trailers loaded with fuel onto the apron to fuel aircraft. They fill them with 50,000 litre lots. So if you're going to fuel an aircraft to fly from Australia to, what's the longest flight into America? Austin, Texas, probably. Is it Austin they fly into? Houston.
Or just go from here to England. That's even better.
Well, yeah, but they don't fly the A380 on that route. They fly the 777 from Perth. But similar deal. There isn't enough fuel capacity on board, given the advertised burn rates and all that sort of thing, to get the aircraft even halfway. Now, we know most of the fuel is used in the climb phase when they reach, aircraft generally climbing to the halfway point.
Feet. Yeah.
It's a very shallow climb, but it's a climb until they get to their cruise altitude, at which point they pull the power off just a little bit, saves a little bit of fuel, and they stay at their cruise altitude of 40,000 feet, let's say, until such time as they can start a descent, which is what they call a cruise descent, to save fuel, and they will just bring the throttles back a little bit further, and that will slowly bring the aircraft down, maybe 1,000 feet every 5 minutes or so. If you're lucky, if it's that much. And that is a unpowered descent, if you like. So they save fuel. I've often been told that aircraft don't take off with enough fuel to get them where they're going. They've got to be in a cruise or a glide descent for much of their inbound trip into where they're landing. There's a lot of anomalies around fuel, cargo, the weight the aircraft can carry. This is where it all comes down to weights and balances. It's interesting shite, interesting stuff. Makes me go.
So now you tell me all this after you made me fly over to Queensland and fix the bus. Thanks for that, mate.
That's
I
true.
appreciate that.
That's true. Oh, that's all right. You were only on a 737.
Right, no problems.
Voice of Freedom is back working, the YouTube channel, by the way. Of course, Voice of Freedom is not at this stage. I'm a little confused as to why. It looks like for some reason Voice of Freedom has copped 2 strikes and running the risk, obviously, pretty significant risk of never seeing that channel again. Mind you, we ran that risk once already and lost it and had given it up for dead, and then all of a sudden it reappeared. So we're trying hard not to kill it.
Well, it's all comes down to that censorship thing and what is and what is not allowed, which actually brings us into another topic. Did anyone see the Germany rates conscription? Oh, really? That's nice.
Well, I've got a mate who's nearly 60 in in Munich. I'll give him a call tonight and find out whether or not how that's going to affect him. Badly, I suspect. We're the same age, so
It won't affect me. I'm past that one, so I'm good. But anyway, getting back to that, one of the things or subjects that's happening a lot at the moment, and it's partially to do with the fact that we have restrictions on our speech, which is basically censorship when you put it in a nutshell. But one of the things that you've been seeing a lot now in social media, and it's starting to make its way into main media now, is the wonderful term called unalived.
wow. Now
What
this is absolutely weird. I can bring that thing up you sent.
Yeah, so this is from you read it.
Hang on. Let me just remove.
Okay, sorry. Jessica Piper of the Democrats, who lost Missouri District 1. She was watching what happened at the Trump thing. I was watching interviews from what happened in Pennsylvania a couple of days ago, and I saw an interview with an ER doctor who was trying to render aid to the man who was unalived. I went, what?
Wow.
Really? During the rally, and it could not get over the fact that there was an ER doctor wearing a MAGA hat and a Trump shirt. You know, it just shows you where the Democrats are at over in America. But the point really being that the term unalived. The guy was killed. He was killed, for crying out loud, protecting his family. Unalived sounds so fluffy, so not, like being alive is not important. What a load of bull. Beep. Right? It's
desensitizing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's desensitizing. It's death has such negative connotations to it, but being unalive seems a bit softer somehow.
Well, it is. I think it's very fluffy. The experts say it's good for children to use to try and come to grasp with the fact that somebody dies, or, that nan or granddad or whatever dies.
Yeah.
But, hey, they've got to face this in life anyway. Don't hide it from them. Don't make it soft. Otherwise, they're going to be soft. They're not going to be able to stand up and be strong and learn strength through adversity. So effectively speaking, this is just another one of those terms that's out there to throw the cat among the pigeons and, desensitize you softly. I believe that a lot of the TikTokers are doing it because the word dead or killed is a problem and can get them censored. That's why they're using unalived. Which is
so
really
TikTok is censoring the word dead or death or killed or probably murdered.
Yeah.
Yes, these three children were unalived by a 17-year-old African immigrant. Right. Okay.
It sounds so insulting, to be honest. Because
it sounds very robotic.
Yeah. Well, you can't say that the person killed three children, right? He's unalived three children. Oh, really? That sounds so soft and hairy.
Three children were unalived today.
Oh, sorry. My apologies.
Yes. Because they were unalived today when a school bus ran off the road and hit a tree, or a madman ran into their classroom and killed them. Doesn't matter what the circumstances of their unalivement were. They just were unalived. That will be the story.
But do you know that unalived sounds like it has no value? It sounds like life has no value.
Yes.
Right?
Couldn't agree more.
So what about all the unalived people who recently took a jibby and now they're unalived because they've got turbo cancers, or they've had strokes, or they've had heart attacks or whatever. It's such a softening of the of the actual dramatic effect of what is something that is really, really dramatic.
Well, you'll be pleased to learn that some of those things you mentioned, help is on our way.
Moderna is making an mRNA shot to treat heart attacks. Johnson & Johnson acquired a medical company that makes heart pumps. AstraZeneca bought a company involved in the heart business. Pfizer acquired a blood therapeutics firm. It's almost as if they knew.
Well, no, he's so wrong about that. They didn't plan that out at all. Not
Wouldn't,
ever. No.
They could never have surmised in a million years that sort of thing would be required.
No, not
Just
at all.
Impossible. Anyway, let's talk about better things. We've got 10 minutes or so before we'll wrap it up. Obviously, getting back on the road is a very important part of what I want and need to do. So looking forward to getting on the road. If you want to come north for a bit of a trip, would love to have you. Reach out, Carl at vofhq.com or Vince at vofhq.com. He'll help coordinate where, when, and how we can meet up along the road and share our time.
Trying to coordinate him? You've got to be kidding.
We'll see what happens. But there is an event that I will definitely be heading south for, and that is this one, the My Place Victorian Campout. It might mean that I'm down in Victoria for a couple of weeks because, if memory serves, it will be My Place Frankston's 3rd or 4th birthday.
Should be the 3rd birthday, I think. Yeah,
3rd birthday, a couple of weeks after this. So this will be a wonderful, wonderful event from Friday, the 29th of November through to the 1st of December. And at a beautiful campground that's about 30 minutes from Echuca on the Murray River, the beautiful Murray River. So it's a My Place Vic campout. It's being run by Doris and Beck and co from Vic West, My Place Vic West. But everybody is welcome to come along. You will need to book your site there, so you can. I think you can go direct to the venue, which is the. I want to say it's the White. What I can't say it. It's
Wakaki, or something or other. But basically, if the guys, if anybody's interested in coming to this, they need to go to the myplaceaustralia.org website. And then there's an option under one of the menu items there that says what's happening in your state. And then there's Vic. There is an application form that you can fill out there that registers your interest. Once you've registered your interest, on the confirmation page, you will get the instructions on how to book a site at this location. Now, suggestions are that you do it very, very quickly because it is selling out fast. Very, very fast.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be a big event.
Big event. And it's going to be a fun event. And hopefully we can get Carl down there and the Voice of Freedom and the Freedom Broadcasting Network. Obviously, if we can get some sponsors for that, that would be fantastic. Someone would help with the costs of getting us down there. If you're running a small business, or a business of any format, and you want to sponsor the show here, while we're doing lives across that state, I haven't talked to Carl about this, I'm just taking over, right? While we're doing lives down there, we can actually advertise your businesses doing that as well. We're happy to advertise. If you sponsor us, we'll advertise for you.
Maybe you've got something on the side of the road we can stop at. If we've got a few people who are traveling with us in a convoy on the way down, maybe you've got a venue that we can spend the night at and we can showcase your part of the world. It might be that we can spend a couple of days getting where we need to go and rather don't have to be, driving big kilometers every day. We can spend maybe 2 or even 3 nights on the road getting down there. And we can showcase different areas on the way through. At this stage, I'd say we will be coming down the inland route for that, the Newell. So a great place to meet up would be well, particularly for me, Warwick or Goondiwindi, and then we head down from there. So unless you want to come out through Canungra and meet me in Bow Desert, somewhere like that. But that'd be the way we'd probably head down the inland route. And feel free to come and join us. It'll be a brilliant event. I was talking to the girls about it yesterday. They were going to come on last night's show, but various things happened. They couldn't make it. I couldn't make it. So nothing happened. But we will be talking to the girls about this next week, and they'll be very excited to let you in on some of the things they've got planned. It's going to be a bloody great event. So looking forward to it. And maybe we can organise Luke. Luke Hart is a powerhouse in the My Place movement. He's based on the Gold Coast, but I saw recently he was down in Tassie, having a looking around down there. So maybe we need one in Queensland as well at some stage, Luke. And that can be not just on the Gold Coast. I'm sure there are some great regional areas we can go and visit with My Place fraternity there, and we can bring a few bucks to the town. That's really what we would like to try and do. Help everywhere where we stop, spend a few dollars, and just make sure that the people in those regional areas know that we think of them regularly. We know how important it is that people like us call in and visit and spend a few dollars with them. So let's all get into it, folks. It's going to be a great way to bring in summer and hopefully what will be a wonderful Christmas for us all this year. And I hope you can be part of it. Vince, you'll be coming over from your neck of the woods. So,
yep. 2 reasons for coming over. Obviously, supporting our Freedom Broadcasting Network, and also the fact that I'm part of the upper echelon of My Place, I suppose, if you want to call it. I'm their IT guru, so I'm coming over. I've been invited over by the girls so that everybody can thump me on the head and say you're doing a terrible job. But yeah. So I have posted
get it right. The only reason you're being invited is to make sure the girls have the Wi-Fi working okay.
I knew there was a reason. That's what it is. Okay. But yeah, I've posted that link up in our chat too, just to let you know, on both Rumble and here. So hopefully that went through on here, so that you can get to it. But it will be a brilliant weekend. It is something that's happening with inside My Place, and a lot is happening inside My Place now. There's newsletters starting to come out, bits and pieces, and with any luck, maybe the Freedom Broadcasting Network will do a news segment if it can be, all the figures and details can be worked out correctly. But that's still in negotiation at this stage.
So the stock market has crashed late this afternoon throughout
really?
America. Things are doing pretty drastic things. The Australian Stock Exchange was down 2.1% earlier today. It may have recovered. I haven't looked since close. The reason for this is that apparently there is a lot more debt in the world than those holding the debt thought there was.
Oh, we all knew that.
Well, apparently those holding the debt didn't think so. They thought there was less. They were holding much less than.
Sorry, Carl. We're talking over each other. I literally went in.
Up,
Sorry.
No, that's because you're not shutting up. Yes. Tell us what you're doing, brother. Tell us what you're doing. You're looking at the stock exchange. So what's happened today?
I was actually just getting into TradingView then. I just hadn't quite got there. So, but I was just going to say, I walked into the shop today. Like last week, you could buy chocolate and that lovely gold chocolate with the Baileys in it, for instance, at $3 a bar on special. Now they're on special again this week at $5 a bar. Like some
How many
special.
dollars? Sorry, it dropped out.
$5.
Wow.
So last week it was $3 a bar. Now it's $5 a bar, but they're still both specials.
Well, I saw it for $7 today.
I know, it's ridiculous.
I didn't think there was too much special about that.
There's not. I mean, how much more can we take of this massive food increase? The prices on this food going up over and over. I mean, I've got to try and make up some of my little medicine that I take for colds and flus and stuff. right? And that incorporates, I need a cup of ginger juice, right? So I bought some ginger so I can buy the ginger juice. It was $40 a kilo for ginger. 40
Wow.
bucks. Yeah. It's like, holy
Is
crap.
that like in its raw form, in the root form?
In its raw form. Yeah, not ginger juice, but in its raw form.
That
right?
is ridiculous.
Yeah, horrendous.
I would have thought. Although, I don't know. I'll have a look because clearly Budrum is a great area for growing ginger up on the sunny coast, and well, I don't know that the ginger factory still produces too much ginger. Maybe it doesn't. Certainly not like the old days, but you can still buy it there. I don't know, $40 a kilo. Shit. Wow, I hadn't thought of it as that expensive. Not in a pink fit.
Yeah, well, I got just.
Oh yeah, Donna. I am with you 100%. Where was I the other day? I was at Super Cheap Auto,
Yeah.
and do you remember this, Vince? You were there. It was the day we yeah.
Oh,
I looked at this cherry ripe. I thought,
come back and start that one again, Carl. You dropped out.
so we were at Super Cheap Auto, and I noticed that there was these cherry ripes, and I thought, I could have a cherry ripe. I reached down, picked the cherry ripe up, and it was 2/3 the size of a normal cherry ripe, and more than the normal cost of a full cherry ripe.
Yep.
And I asked for an explanation behind the counter, and the girl or the guy or whatever it was at the time said, "Oh yeah, I noticed that myself the other day. They seem a bit small, but everybody else says they've always been that size." So are we having one of those? Are we having one of those moments where there's a bit of a break in the matrix, a conniption in the matrix? Because some of us remember that for $3.70 you got a cherry ripe that was 7 inches long and an inch and a half thick, or this pissant little thing that you could clear your ears with. There's some weirdness.
Yeah, it's that wonderful down, deflation, but it's not the money that's deflating; it's the size of the product. So, SBX,
yes, Scotty's got
down
the right
1.37%. NDQ's down 2.44%. Whoa, okay, yeah, there's some definite drops in the market, that's for sure.
Black sheep wagon wheels were huge when I was a boy too, and nowadays you could fit a whole one in your mouth if you really could stomach the bug that was living inside it. All of that red shit that's inside those biscuits, that's bugs.
Yeah,
a red.
Still tastes yummy, but so, I like my wagon wheels. Not that I can eat many of them, but
you got to admit, I used to love wagon wheels too. I actually tried.
Like
your South Australian chocolate company is releasing Polywaffle bites now. Have you seen those?
The old Polywaffle. I love the Polywaffles. I can remember going on a baseball trip all the way to Victoria, and I reckon I ate 10 Polywaffles on the way over and 10 on the way back. Right.
Well, I can tell you, I had a go at the new Polywaffle bites. There are no Polywaffles like the old ones yet, the logs.
Yeah.
They're just these bites. Taste nothing like them.
Oh, really? Not even close?
Nah.
Oh, that's a shame.
No. I was very disappointed in them. Very disappointed. Oh, look, there you go. Wild Aussie Woman's in there with me. I've got a sneaking suspicion Wild Aussie Woman wouldn't mind being in there with me with a few different things. Chocolate,
Settle
maybe.
Down, boy. Settle down.
I'm just saying. I've seen some of the comments. I've woken up in a cold sweat screaming at the roof. No. That's it. I'm having a bit of fun with you, darling. I hope you're okay with that.
Well, all our family's good, so that shouldn't be a challenge at all.
No more Polywaffle competitions. No. Uh,
Didn't somebody get
Waffle
the
also.
license? Didn't somebody get the license to rebuild them again?
Yeah, it's that Adelaide chocolate company.
Well, the one just up the road from me,
Hoadley's or
Lobefall area.
yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well, what's the other
I
big
might
one
have
in
to-
town?
Next time I go screaming past through there, I might have to drop in and have a look.
It's a family company. I know that much.
Yep. Yeah, I think I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Can't think of the name off the top of my head because I'm getting old and senile, but
Yeah.
generally speaking, that along with that comes the obvious wisdom.
There you go. Pete from Penaroo's in on it too. He agrees. So it's not just Wild Aussie Woman and myself. 3 from 3. The Polywaffle bites are BS. They are crap. Not very nice at all. I didn't get much out of them. Didn't think they were too good.
Yeah.
Mind you, I've discovered now that I'm not enjoying. I'm not enjoying any of that sort of food, that sort of chocolatey stuff or chips or anything like that. So, which
And
is
it's
good
since you've
because I
been
used to eat a shitload of them. Yeah. I'm finding it very hard to. I've got to force myself to eat because I still have no taste, and I've still got a face full of snot. I get worn out pretty easy. But some would just say that's because you're a fat bastard and you don't do anything. But be that as it may.
I haven't seen that the area that you live, all the walking up and down of those hills, mate. I'm going up and down and I'm having to stop halfway and take a shot of my nitro and bloody hell. Yeah.
Well, I can
don't know
tell
about that.
you that it has been a benefit to me. I've needed to put 2 new holes in my belt, which has meant that I now have a belt that wraps around me 1.5 times.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm a bit happy about that. I'm not saying that I am svelte or whatever. And there's probably quite a few saggy bits that I prefer not to have a look at. And thankfully, there aren't too many mirrors in this bus. But
it might mean that the hoodies I sent you are going to fit.
Well, judging by the size of them, I think I'm going to float in them. Because
that's quite possible.
I'm still drinking my water. So,
well, on another note, even though the stock market's taking a bit of a dip, it's interesting to note that crypto is still hanging on to itself. It's sitting pretty stable, moving somewhere between 63 and 70,000 on a regular basis. It's just going up and down in a sideways motion. So for all those who are following that, that's the Bitcoin side of it.
Now, I meant to ask you this week because Donald Trump spoke at the Bitcoin conference. He spoke on a couple of different levels, including about pardoning the guy who's gone to jail for creating the Silk Road, if you like, digital trading platform.
Not 100% across that story, so I can't make a comment. From
Okay.
what I believe, that a lot of people think that he was sent to jail wrongly, and hence, like when they suggested that he be pardoned, that was well received by the Bitcoin enthusiasts. The same as the ability to get rid of the chairman of the the ECC or something.
Yeah.
The SEC, sorry, SEC.
SEC.
And that one, he brought the house down. Matter of fact, he said it twice just to make sure.
Yeah.
But
that's
the
very
fact that
true.
he says he's going to support it and that he is not going to support a central digital bank currency is a big win as far as we're concerned, right? Not only for crypto, but in general for the world. So hopefully that will move forward. But as they say, if you believe the polls, Kamala, I can't even say her name, Kamala, sorry, is effectively catching up on him, right? and using her dark-colored skin because she's obviously not African, but she wants to identify as one. But I suppose you can do that nowadays. I wonder if Trump could do that. Could he identify as being black? Would that work?
Oh, yeah. Could he identify as what?
Being black. Well, if Kamala Harris can do it, right? So should he. Just a
All right,
thought.
I'm going to throw something at you just now that you've brought up Kamala Harris. And I'm going to leave this with you to think about over the weekend. All right. Kamala Harris hasn't announced her running mate yet, her vice presidential pick. But I'm hearing that person could be Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, really? That would be interesting. I'm not so sure. Yeah, okay. I've been hearing that it might be a white person. So, and there was an interesting thing. I was looking at one of the many social media posts that came out there that was showing ads for people now, how they, putting in the different mixtures of color in the ads. So you've got a white person and a black person. It's really interesting that pretty much all of the dual ads are always a white woman with a black guy. Wonder why. I wonder if there's a reason for doing that. It's sort of,
Well,
it's just
sure,
about questioning everything nowadays.
I just think that if Oprah Winfrey were to run, it would be a very, very, very difficult ticket to beat.
You reckon?
Well,
so you reckon that they would win if she did that?
I think that Oprah Winfrey's celebrity draw
I suppose
is capable of creating a wave of support that could ride through till November. Yes.
I suppose Trump used to have that same thing, and that's how he won it in 2016.
Yeah, but would Oprah be allowed to bring all that to bear? Because she may as well run for president, because it would be the country supporting her, not Kamala or Kamala or Camel Toe or
Kamala
Bob or whatever she's called. So,
yeah. Sorry, I almost got her laugh there. That was almost the same as her laugh. Anyway, that's her standard response to everything. Well, that is a really interesting thought process. Oh, I'll have to think about that over the weekend. That's definitely something.
I said, don't answer straight away. You have to think of the permutations of it. She would bring an awful lot to the party, but she would bring more than the current VP does and the lead nominee.
So she's a celebrity. So the question is, has she built any businesses? How many people does she employ?
She has built businesses predominantly in Africa to school young girls who seem to go missing from those schools. It is alleged.
Well, we won't hold that against her. She's not over in Africa. So
no. You're missing the point.
I realise that. I know what you're saying. I'm just trying to help our censors not get censored.
Oh, well, I'm trying hard to bury that.
But, I was reading something the other day about Trump, and it was talking about, he has over 22,000 people employed.
Yeah.
Over 22,000. Right? I think that's the type of person I would want to have running a country, unlike our current politicians over here.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I don't know what we're going to do with those people, but the more of us that say no, the more of us that stand up and go, no, not happening. The more of us that chase the stupid things like unalived. Right. I still can't get over that. Unalived. So wishy-washy. Flu-boo.
Be able to go away and have nightmares about that ourselves over the weekend. What have you got plans for this weekend, my friend?
I'm going to spend some time in a remote session with my son. We're going to be doing some programming on a game that he's working on.
Oh, wow, okay.
I have to deal with an IT team. Somewhere inside of that, I might actually jump on a 7 Days to Die game and shoot some zombies. So outside of that, right? Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's good for it tells you how to invent things like swords and knives and bows and arrows and whatever. You know, Vince, you'll
Useful.
get banned if you say what? Fern, what am I going to say? Get banned for? So, but yeah,
Dead, unalive, yeah.
Oh, said die. Yeah, 7 Days to Die. I said the wrong word. Oh, sorry, 7 Days to Unalived. My apologies. We've got to change the name of the game.
Mate, I haven't even heard of that new game that you're talking about.
Oh, it's not new. It's been around for years. They've always just been in beta, and they keep just updating the beta versions.
Okay. So I found myself yesterday waiting for Cass, and I was in a shopping centre. And that shopping centre had a time zone in it, a quite large one. Now, I haven't been in a time zone, I don't reckon, for at least 10 years. And I used to live in these things when I was younger. I thought, I'll just go and have a wander through and have a look what sort of games there are these days. You know, I particularly like racing car games, motorcycle riding, car racing, those sorts of things. And I was interested to see what had changed. Now, are we flying spaceships through, obstacle courses, all that kind of thing? Turns out we're not doing anything of the sort. Same sorts of games, same sorts of unrealistic tracks, same sorts of everything. Everything looked the same as 15, 20 years ago. There used to be a new generation, if you like, video game years ago. Vince, you'll remember it, where they first had linked machines and you could race 4 or 5 different tracks with 4 cars racing against each other, that kind of thing. It's essentially the same shit today with the same poor bits of fiberglass that you sit in. And I thought it was just really piss poor. Where there does seem to have been some, I don't know, advancement, for the want of a better term, are these dancing sort of video games where I was encouraged to see kids actually have to move to score. So, that'd give me a bit of a workout, I've got to say, but I have no interest in learning how to dance or listening to that emu music. So that's not for me. They still have the basketball throw games and that sort of stuff. There doesn't seem to be too much new in the way of video gaming technology. I thought there'd be VR stuff these days, headsets where you're running around in rooms shooting shit.
There is. Literally, I've got one sitting in my lounge room here. My kids, we set up a computer for the VR quite some time ago when I was running the video shop. Right, and you can map out an area and you can have the VR goggles on, and you've got like a 3 by 3 meter area around, and you walk around and you can do that sort of thing.
Are you just walking around your own created area, or is this actually a game that you can get in and be involved in?
No, you're actually walking around with to you, you're inside the game, but you have an area that in your own area that you can wander, like that 3 meter by 3 meter square. So you can move around up and down, etc. in that square. And in the game, you're moving in the same spot. Of course, if you want to go like 100 meters up that way, you've got to basically teleport yourself to get to it. So there is stuff like that available, and it is there, right? You just won't see them in your consoles, like your time zone and stuff. All right. And to the person who asked about Angry Birds, right? You've got, if you want to run an emulator on a computer, you can do that, or it's still PlayStation 3, Xbox 360s, etc. The latest consoles that really have those at this stage. Not that I've played Angry Birds for a long time. It used to be on my phone, but or on my tablet. Anyway, so that was answering a question in the chat.
I played Angry Birds in years.
Yeah, but most of the games are all first-person shooters, right? You get a few that are real strategic or strategy type games or puzzle games. I like the puzzle games. So
the
but
shooter
occasionally-
shooter games are designed to desensitize us, you know, so
Yes,
that we don't
agreed.
throw up when we have to shoot someone in the head.
Is that why I go shooting zombies? Okay, now I understand.
Well, I always thought that was exactly why those games are so graphic, because it does desensitize you. It's the same with kids with racing car games, and then they sit in the simulator all day, and then they go and get into a car and drive it the same way they've been sitting in the simulator.
Which, in one respect, is good practice, but in another, when they wipe themselves out, they don't get a chance to just walk away.
There's no reset button. Yeah, You don't get to what do you call it? Clone, morph, respawn.
Respawn.
You don't get to respawn. Yeah. So yeah. All right, mate. I'll let you go and have a good weekend. Thank you very much for your input tonight. Really appreciate everything you do for us. And folks, if you do want to get one of those rather dashing hoodies, Vince will hold his nipples up so you can see the front, and you could attempt to turn around where you are. We might see the back of it.
I think the chair's going to get in a row, but we'll try.
There you go. It's got FBN on the back. There you go. Done well. And the hoodie, of course, very good for the year-olds. So go to vofhq.com and you can check out the hoodies. Sizes there too, Vince. And so what size is that one?
This is a 2XL.
Oh, wow. And it's big on you.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
wow.
very quite large. So a 3XL is although admittedly I have lost some weight. I've lost 20 kilos over the last year or so. So but when I saw you, I was around the weight I am now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is a 2XL. So feel free to go on, look on those. We're placing another order. Obviously, the free postage is no longer available, except if you're a member.
Yep,
if you are a member, please say that you're a member. I will check out that you are a member. And if you are, then you will get free postage.
And you can always be a member. It's just as simple as going to vofhq.com, clipping on the membership tab, and from as little as $1.25 a week, you can be a member. It's that simple. We would love to have you. Every little bit helps. Mate, you have yourself a great weekend.
No worries, mate. And for all those people out there, please donate, become a member, right? Support FBN. Please go and like the VOFHQ and the FBN online channels in YouTube. We need those lights to get up so we can start using them. And hopefully we'll get some content and stuff, more content happening up on those channels shortly.
Absolutely. Thank you, my friend.
I'm out of here because he wants me gone. Bye.
Have a good one. See you, buddy. Don't forget, folks, if you are in a bit of pain, X39 patches might be able to help you out. And I can tell you, mine are never far from me. These are my Y-Age Eon patches. I'm going to put one on as soon as I finish the show here tonight because I've got one of those aches and pains and things happening in my head. And I can tell you that within half an hour of putting that patch on, I won't have any problems with it at all. So if you are suffering a bit of pain, then please go and check out the potential benefits for X39 patches. You can do that at our website, vofhq.com. There is a link you can follow right on the top there, and it will sort you out for hopefully whatever ails you. Of course, it doesn't work for everybody. I've got to preface everything I say there with there have been, a small amount of people that have received no or very little benefit from wearing a patch. However, the vast majority of those of you who've tried it have been in touch and told me just how life-changing it's been in many ways. So the LifeWave X39 patches, great for you to get involved with if you are or you know of somebody who might be suffering a little bit of pain. Remember, we want to see you at this event coming up November 29 through December 1. That's going to be happening down along the Murray River, or just off the Murray River, if you like, in a Echuca area down in Victoria. And if you want to come north, let me know. Carl@vofhq.com. I'll tell you where and when I'm going to be, and maybe we can line up a bit of driving together. I'd look forward to it. All right, folks, have yourself a fabulous weekend if you are heading out on the roads. I think it's going to be pretty dry in my part of the world, but that doesn't mean the dickheads won't be out. So duck and weave, eh? Talk to you soon.
You
Bye.
let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back.
Does anybody else want to stay?
Let's ride!